Hey everyone, this is Dark Knight from Method Gaming. Welcome to my main account. This video is going to be an overview of my account, how far I've progressed over the 6 or 7 months I've been playing, and generally just some thoughts, just some ideas that may help you with your own accounts. Also, I'm more than welcome any sort of comments that you might want to put in as to content that you would like to see with the account that I have. I do have some ideas already, but I would be interested in anything that you want to see. Making that content, maybe showing some certain teams in action, things like that, what you can expect from them, what sort of gear they have, and so on. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So, starting with the Great Hall, let's take a look. I actually just finished my accuracy tree here for everybody. Wanted to make sure that this is taken care of before I move on to anything else. Of course, it took a while because these top upgrades really cost a penny or a medal. But now that I kind of got over that part, I think the rest is going to pick up fairly easily because it's a lot less costly than those final few upgrades that you can do. So I already started on defense. Um, Basically, there's sort of a threshold that there is for between level 6 and level 7. So if you're upgrading from 5 to 6, you need 300 gold medals. But if you're upgrading from 6 to 7, it's 700. So it kind of goes steeply up to the point where you don't you kind of think, is it worth it to take this to 7, 8, or 9, and so on? Or is it just worth to spend those medals somewhere else, get a few more upgrades? That's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. I want to finish the defense tree up to level 6, then maybe I'll go for crit damage and 8 HP up to level 6, and I hope by that time I will have an idea of whether I want to take the resist and attack up to level 6 as well, because that's going to be faster. It's not going to benefit me as much as pushing defense, crit damage, and HP at this point, but it would still be a nice boost. I do have some attack champs that could use the boost in attack. Resist, I'm kind of on the fence about. I don't really have anybody built for high resist, so I don't think having an extra 30 or 40 resist would actually make that much of a difference. So I don't know, I'll have to do some research and really try to figure out what I want to do next, but for now I want to do these 3 here: defense, crit damage, and HP, get them up to 6, and maybe even go further before I do these 2, resist and attack, or maybe I'll just do resist and attack up to 6 and then I'll start moving defense from 7 and onward. Alright, so as far as clan boss, I do 2 key nightmare. Where am I? There I am. So right now with the counter, it's much easier to figure out how much damage you've done. So I try to stay within the 41 million mark as much as I can. Basically, I want to make sure that everybody gets a turn and get that top chest. I throw my 2 other keys in Ultra Nightmare. Now I have 1 key in Brutal here because I had an extra key, but that's well, whenever I get extra keys I do Brutal, but for the most part I just do 2 keys in Nightmare to get the 2 chests and 2 keys in Ultra Nightmare to get this second chest here. This is as much damage as I can do for with 2 hits. I do usually about 15 or so million on Ultra Nightmare with my team. I'll show you that later. So actually, yes, as you can see, there's exactly 30 million for the 2 keys that I have in here. For arena, right now I'm kind of higher than I want to be. I try to float around 3200 in gold 4. I haven't tried for platinum, and for now I don't think I will, because I don't have the gear for it. But yeah, I usually go for I run a speed team, so I usually go for teams which do not have speed leads that could possibly be taken down fairly easily. So I try to pick my fights, so to speak, because my team is a nuke team. But if they don't nuke the enemy, I have some leeway. I'll explain why. I mean, I have a leeway, but even with that leeway, if the other team is too tanky for me to take down, they could turn the tides on me. Though that doesn't really happen all that often, to be honest. For defense, I just have my arbiter as a single defense, because basically I want people to attack me and bring me down back to 3200 or so. Okay, so let's do a couple quick fights here. Let's see. I don't want to do this one because of Valkyrie. She's gonna be annoying. I think this is achievable. Let's try it. Okay, so this is the team that I use. I use Arbiter as lead. I actually recently got her. Before Arbiter, I was using what's her face? Skokrown. I was using Skokrown as the lead, and then instead of Arbiter as the speed booster, I was using Apothecary. The two other guys are pretty much the same. Okay, so let's try this one. Hopefully I don't fail miserably. So we'll boost. Actually just hit auto, so I don't even know their skills. Haven't learned them yet. Boost and then AoE attack and defense down. Okay, good. Now this guy is in stun gear, by the way, so every now and then I get a stun, which is awesome. The stun gear, the good thing about it is it cannot be resisted regardless of his accuracy. So if you land that, I think it was 23% or maybe it was 18. If you land that percentage, it's gonna land for sure. So that's the good thing. Now this is the twist in my team. I have Raz in here. Now he's not built for arena. He's built for clan boss, and he's not that well built for clan boss either. But what he does is he brings down turn meter by 100%. So you see, all of these guys are ready to go, and they're gonna go right after me. But if I do this, basically in most cases I get a free turn for everybody before the enemy even gets a turn. Let's see if this works out. Okay, only Martyr didn't get her turn meter decrease. Then we nuke with Scout Crown, and then might as well just, yeah, there we go. So this is the team, and it works really well on auto. They do everything they're supposed to do. I don't really need to do things manually. I just wanted to show you how the team works. I'm actually wondering if this team is achievable. Should be okay, I think. Let's try it. And if I fail, oh well. Okay, let's see. Okay, one down. Good. At this point, I'm not too worried. I think Seeker's gonna. There we go. Seeker's down, and it's just one guy left. So I think we're good. Yep. There we go. So not that bad. Okay. All right. For faction wars, don't really need to go through all that, but I think the highest one I got is High Elves, stage 17. I was actually clearing 3-starring other stuff last time this was up, so I plan on doing stage 14 and then pushing forward. This is the team that I have. It's not ideal. Elaine, or Elhain, however you want to pronounce it, is not even 60. She doesn't have good gear. Tyrell needs some work as well. I'll show you him later. But other than that, this somehow works. I can't even believe that I got to stage 17 with this team. All the others are kind of lower, as you can see, 46 stars here, only 24 here, only 18 here. So basically, as I build up characters, I put them in the faction wars teams. So it's kind of what I do, and you know, I push a little further with every character built that I throw into the faction wars. I push a little further, I get some better glyphs that help me out. So yeah, you know how it is. All right, so these are my chimps. Basically, Arbiter, like I said, I just got recently. She is built for speed with everything speedy that I have. Not the best build, obviously, but it's decent. Almost 50k HP, 2.7k defense, which is good. Speed is a little low, but I find that as long as I don't go up against other speed leads, and as long as I stay in the lower end of gold 4, that's perfectly fine. So I very rarely get surprised by a speedier team than mine. Crit rate, crit damage is okay, I suppose. Yeah, other than that, nothing special. Brazen is actually speed tuned for Nightmare, so this this could be pushed further. I kind of want to upgrade his crit rate, crit damage at some point, but I haven't started grinding Dragon yet. I do want to bring up a few more champions up to 60, and at that point I think I'll just start grinding the dungeons, especially Dragon, to get some speed and lifesteal gear. As you can see, I've got common pieces here. So yeah, definitely something that could be improved upon. 4-star gear. So it's you know, it's bare bones, but it works. It works, and I'm happy with the way it performs. So these are his stats: 30k hit points, decent defense despite the low level gear, decent speed. Crit rate needs a lot of work. Crit damage also needs a lot of work though. This is my campaign farmer, Queen Eva. She is really good at it, specifically for stage 12-3. She's very slow, but she doesn't need to be fast because she one-shots all the waves. She has pretty much 100% crit. She doesn't need 100% because she's got the aura, 90% ally crit rate in all battles. So basically, whenever she's lead in the campaign, she's always at 100%. Decent crit damage. The rest of it doesn't really matter though. Honestly, I use her in a lot of dungeons, by the way. I know that a lot of people would say she's a campaign farmer, nothing else. She's attack based, difficult to keep alive. I mean, look, her base defense is pretty low, but she's actually pretty decent in some dungeons, especially the lower levels, but I even use her in some of the higher levels as well. So she is not to be underestimated. I know that most people just see her as a campaign farmer and nothing more, but she brings some stuff to the table which could really help you. I use her in Fire Knight 20. I don't have a cold heart, so I don't have heal reduction. She's my heal reduction and turn meter reduction as well, her AoE, and she does that well. Honestly, I have almost never seen her die, even though she's very low on defense and doesn't have a lot of HP. Next we got Skull Crown. You already saw her in action. Not the best build, by the way. She's fairly squishy, but I kind of have her there because I wanted to do Spider 19 with her. I think this is what I use. Basically, I just use her as a tank because she's got that mastery, defensive mastery, where she's got 50% chance to counterattack when she loses 25% of her max HP. And this is exactly what she was doing when the spiders were attacking her. She would return the favor with an AoE A1. And the great thing about her is she's got that unkillable when she drops below 20% HP on a 4-turn cooldown. So if she didn't get lucky enough to get a counterattack and heal herself back up, then at least that would keep her alive long enough for her to get a heal or maybe attack and just get her health back from the damage dealt. So definitely a good champ if you're using that spider strat with the counterattack. Okay, Vulture Sentinel. She was I was actually testing her in Clan Boss. I ended up going for Jareg in the long run, although she has her uses. In fact, I'm also considering using her as my off-affinity tank for Spider 20. We might actually try that a little later on in the video. She's great. She's amazing, by the way. Even though I don't use her in my Clan Boss team currently, she is really good. Doom Priest is actually my Clan Boss team. I know that a lot of people don't really see her being useful there, but her passive cleanse is just amazing. Not just for Clan Boss, for anywhere. I have used Doom Priest in so many situations, and she has come through for me every single time. With one exception, she is not great in Spider 20. As an attack up champion for Ultimate Gaelic, she will be attacked by the spiders, she'll go down, and it just goes south from there. Not the best option for your off-affinity tank, definitely, but everywhere else she has performed really well, and I don't even have her built the way that I want to. I have her built for Clan Boss, as I said, so her speed is tuned for Nightmare. If she was faster, she would heal more the entire party, because she would take more turns. She would also cleanse more using her passive, and she would be even more amazing. But it is what it is. For now, I'm using her as my cleanser for the Clan Boss, so yeah, that's good enough. Berenice is my current Clan Boss Poisoner, mostly because of her A1, because she's got a 100% chance to place the 5% big version of poison. I didn't really have a good poisoner before, or rather after Kale. Kale was my original poisoner, but he's got that 2.5% poison. So I wanted an upgrade. I didn't have a lot of options back then, so I picked up Berenice. She is actually really good. She could be better. This block buffs skill is probably something that could possibly lower your damage output, because when she uses this instead of her A1, I would say the poison is more important than the block buffs, especially if you have resin to take down any buffs that the Clan Boss has. But this is a great skill. Basically, it increases the duration of all debuffs on the target. This is Skull Crusher. He's my counterattack champ, only one that I have. That's why I use Jareg, by the way, because these two work amazingly together. Because of ally protection, Skull Crusher throws on ally protection on everybody else. He soaks up the damage. He's got unkillable for one turn, but when this unkillable drops, he might die. So at that point, if you have a Jareg to throw on his ally protection, Jareg will instead soak up the damage that Skull Crusher is supposed to, and that would help immensely with keeping Skull Crusher alive. Next up, we got Ultimate Gaelic. He is built for Spider 20, basically. Even his masteries they're kind of weird. You'll see that I'm actually going for, what was it, Oppressor. I'm going for Oppressor with turn meter, fill up to 10% for each active debuff on an enemy. So that's active debuff that's cast by a champion, by the way, by this champion. So not anybody else's debuffs, but this guy's debuffs. His HP burn lands on a lot of the spiders, so this is almost always going to be a 10% extra turn meter as it fills up. So I'm gonna go with this one, and I'm gonna test, and I'm gonna see if I like it. And if I do, I'll probably keep it this way, because I actually don't want my Ultimate Gaelic to do a lot of damage. I actually don't want him to do damage at all. I just want him to toss on those HP burns on the spiders and let them kill themselves and kill the mama spider as well. So that's why I went with those masteries. But like I said, I'm just testing this out currently, and once I get a better feel of what I need in order to make the spider almost 100% clear, then I would maybe fine-tune him. Something that I wanted to mention, by the way, and so I'll probably do this in another video specifically for the spider, is something I noticed is that his Crushing Hopes, when you get the 1-turn cooldown, goes to 3-turn cooldown, and Burning Rage, if you just get the first one, it's a 5-turn cooldown instead of going all the way down to 4. And I've noticed that on auto, whenever he's got both skills off cooldown, he prioritizes Burning Rage. And Burning Rage only drops HP burn on enemies if Ultimate Gaelic already has attack up on himself. However, in order for him to have that without anybody else throwing it on him, he needs to do Crushing Hopes first. So what I have noticed is that if you take this cooldown all the way down to 4 turns, he'll do Burning Rage, then he'll do Crushing Hopes, he'll do his basic a bunch of times, and then both Burning Rage and Crushing Hopes will be off cooldown at the same time, and he will prioritize Burning Rage before Crushing Hopes. So basically what I'm trying to say is he might never get his attack up in time for his AoE because of that. So I have actually held off on doing this last cooldown reduction because I think that he will rotate better if he does Burning Rage, Crushing Hopes, a bunch of basics, then back to Crushing Hopes because it'll be off cooldown, and then right after Crushing Hopes you have Burning Rage available to do next. So this will, I think, make him more consistent in the spider. Of course, I'm still going to use an attack up champion because I want to throw attack up before he uses his first AoE. I think the first AoE is very important to put on, and that means that I need to have an attack up from another champion, but at the same time I want to minimize the chance that he will not have attack up either by himself or by the other champion when he uses the AoE, because that would be a huge waste and I would have to wait another 4 or 5 turns before I can get HP burn on all the little spiders. So that's something that I plan on testing out further, and something that I might make a video about. If you're working on your Ultimate Gaelic, that might be something to consider. Just maybe test them out without having that 4-turn cooldown. Just test them out with 5 turns, see if it works for you. I think it's actually going to work better if we can get Crushing Hopes before Burning Rage on his next rotation, on his second Burning Rage rotation. Next we got Jareg. He's an attack down champ. He was my first attack down champion. Wasn't really excited about him, but he actually got me through a lot of content, including dungeons. And even though I built up other attack down champions in the meantime, he is still the one that I use on my main team. Basically, it's because of the ally protection with and how it pairs up with Skull Crusher. He's just amazing. He's really good. Next I got Tyrell. I'm still working on him, by the way. He has no books on him whatsoever. His artifacts are kind of okay, but sort of meh. His total stats are kind of okay, I guess. But he needs masteries, definitely. So I'm still working on that. I actually don't have a place for him right now. Maybe in one of the dungeons where I can't use Stagnite, I could use him as defense down. But I also have War Maiden built for that as well. So he would definitely be an improvement compared to War Maiden, definitely. So when I build him, I probably use him in that dungeon, but for the most part I use Stagnite because of his 8-2. He decreases defense and decreases attack at the same time on his AoE 3-turn cooldown. Really awesome. His 8-2 is attack one enemy 2 times with chance of decreasing speed, which is even better. He's just an amazing champ. I have him in stun gear. As you saw, I use him in arena. Really happy with him. 50k HP, 2.2k defense, that's good. Decent speed. Crit rate is okay-ish, could be higher, but I'm not really looking to do that much damage with him. Crit damage is amazingly high, by the way. That's because I actually have crit damage gloves instead of crit rate. I didn't have any other stun gear for him, So I slapped on this crit damage gloves with crit rate percentage here, attack, and basically just went with it. But he does some decent damage when he crits, by the way. So yeah, that's Stagnite. I have Bulwark, which was my basically my lead for my clan boss team. I don't really use him that often anymore. I use Jireg instead because I need to have Doom Priest as a cleanser for Skull Crusher. Otherwise, if Skull Crusher gets stunned, his rotation goes off the rails basically. So I don't use Bulwark that much anymore ever since I built up Razin, but sometimes I do use him, especially when I have an extra key to do Brutal. I actually don't care so much about getting a stun on Skull Crusher because his counterattack goes off whack anyway at some point. So instead of worrying about that, I remove Doom Priest from my regular team. I move Bulwark in my lead spot, and then I move Jireg to the second spot. Bulwark is amazing if you don't know. I'm sorry, excuse me. If you don't know, Bulwark is amazing because of his passive. Whenever he gets hit, he's got a 30% chance of extending the duration of all debuffs on the attacker by 1 turn. So this is why he's good in the lead spot, because that gives him an extra 30% chance of extending duration when he gets stunned as the lead. Next up we got Reliquary Tender. I actually slept on this character for quite a while. I didn't think she was that great. I mean, I've seen the videos, especially how Hades, he's got a lot of videos where he says she's amazing, use her if you have her, and I was like, yeah, she's great. She's got a res, she cleanses, she heals, but other than that, you know, not amazing. But actually, when I started using her, I realized how good she is. She really is good. If you're thinking, okay, well, you know, maybe there's something better. Maybe there is, of course. There's probably better champions out there, but if you don't have them, she is an amazing carry. I actually built her with a ton of HP. She's got 63k HP, decent defense at 2.2k, decent speed, and that's all you care about. You don't care about attack or crit rate. Crit damage. She's not going to be your damage dealer. You don't even have to worry about accuracy, by the way. She has a debuff on her A1, but it's 25% decreased attack with a fairly low chance of landing, so I don't think it's worth it to build her with accuracy. Just slap on some health, definitely some speed, and as much defense as you can get, and she is good to go. She's also got my shield set, so that's why I built her with such high HP. I used HP on all of the accessories basically, because I wanted to get the maximum benefit of this shield set. She doesn't have any masteries, by the way, as well, so she does amazing work for me. She is the last one standing, even if I'm almost close to wiping, but she can still pick up people. I've seen her be the last person standing in Ice Golem, and she managed to pick up, I think, 2 other people while keeping herself alive and everybody else. She picked up 2 other people and they managed to finish the Ice Golem. It was amazing. Actually, I was so impressed with her. So anyway, next up we've got War Maiden. She was my first defense down AoE champ because of her A3. Attacks all enemies, 60% chance, or 75% chance of doing the 60% decreased defense, and it can be booked up to 100%. She's also farmable in the campaign. That's what makes her so amazing for people starting out, for free-to-play players. She is awesome. You can use her in dungeons, you can use her in arena, you can use her anywhere. She's great just for that skill, and her other 2 skills are not bad either. KO is next. He's basically my poisoner right now. I mostly just use him for a few dungeons, mainly for Ice Golem, for Dragon, of course. He doesn't really have amazing stats, 34k HP, decent defense, fairly low but decent attack, good speed, crit rate is really good, crit damage not that good, accuracy is where I need it to be. So he's my poisoner, but he can also help with the waves. He's not just one trick pony. He's also helping out with the waves, getting in there, killing stuff. Apothecary, my main speed buffer for a long time. Still decent stats though, even though I pushed a lot of his gear onto Arbiter. He's still got 50k HP, 2.2k defense, 254 speed, so for dungeons he is still solid. Frozen Banshee, I'm actually working on her. She doesn't have any gear yet. I'm thinking of actually pushing all of Irene's gear onto her. Although there's an event coming up where I could possibly level up some new gear, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. So I'm still working on her. She needs masteries before I can replace Irene's in my team. But I think that after I do that, I'm going to see, or at least I hope that I will see a decent increase in damage, and maybe hoping for a 4-key Ultra Nightmare. We'll see how it goes though. This is also something I've been working on, Seer, because of her Karma Burn. I got her in the double void event recently, and I was very excited because I've seen videos of her just nuking, absolutely destroying waves in dungeons, and I know that she is a staple for speed teams, so I was very excited to get her because of this ability here, Karma Burn. She basically removes all buffs from enemies and allies at the same time and does a massive hit, which usually, if you build her right, should be able to take down the entire wave. And if you have a Kaimar, and oh looky here, I do have a Kaimar that I'm working on next. If you have a Kaimar to reset her skills, she can do that on the second wave, and then you're down to the boss in no time at all. So that's something that I'm kind of looking forward to do. Kaimar still haven't started on him yet. I kind of wish to do some of the masteries worked out first before I move on to Kaimar. But I think these two will be pair made in heaven, basically. As you can see here, I got some Drakes. I'm working on the fusion for the Skull Lord. In the vault, what do I have in the vault? Blood Gorged, really good arena champ, but I was actually building him for arena, but I ended up going in another direction, so he's not fully built, and his gear isn't great, but I use him in Faction Wars, so he's okay. Romero was my healer for the clan boss in the initial stages, so that's why he's a 60. He's actually a decent champ, by the way. He solos a lot of my Faction Wars, so yeah, he can keep himself alive and others. Haikatun, she was my speed lead for a long time because I actually didn't have Apothecary for several months in the beginning, and she was basically my Apothecary at the time. She is really good. Maybe not as good as Apothecary, but in some cases she is actually better than Apothecary. I believe I used her as my lead in Spider 19, if I'm not mistaken, and she was amazing in there. So I do not regret having her at 60. Armiger is somebody that I built specifically for Spider 20. I ended up not even using him for Spider 20. I think I used him on 19, but not 20. So kind of a letdown on that point, but he is. I've been using him in Ice Golem. He is amazing in there because he tends to pull down those side minions for the boss, so he kind of speeds up the runs every now and then. It's a bit of an RNG, but it's it's okay. It happens from time to time. Talia was building for Arena even before Bloodgorged, but went another route. I think I got something better, so I just stopped at 50. This guy Grinner, he was one of my first champs. That's why he's at 50. I was using him in arena, in dungeons, pretty much anywhere I could get him. But I grew out of him quickly, so I never got him to 60. He's a good champ though. He is a decent champ. Elhain was actually my starter champ. I didn't go with KO. I don't know why. I think I just wanted to try Elhain. She is a decent starter champ, but actually got lucky and pulled a KO early on. So I was just very close to making her 60, but instead of that, I just went for KO and I made him my first level 60, and she's been forgotten ever since. I'm sorry, Elhain. Spirit Host is actually amazing because, as I said earlier, attack up from Doom Priest for Spider 20 does not work because she gets pummeled by the spiders and she dies too quickly. So instead of her, I use Spirit Host. She's also a decent lead because she's got a 10% all battles aura. And she was actually doing a better job for me as the lead instead of, let's say, Apothecary when I was doing my Arbiter missions. Even though he's got a defense aura, I was failing more with him than I was with her. So she was really clutch for me. Even though she's level 50, she was actually pretty amazing in there. Definitely something cool. And these are just characters that I've leveled up. Just got them ready to be worked on whenever I get a chance. Kind of wish to do Tomb Lord. I know he's pretty good, but I don't know. Kymar is a priority right now, so I'm definitely going to go for Kymar first and pair him up with Seer. After that, I think I'm actually going to slow down on doing 60s for a while, unless I get something really amazing, and I'm just going to focus on masteries and focus on actually farming some decent gear, because I think I have the champs. I have the bones of most of my teams that I need to use, but I do need better gear. I'm literally starved for gear. If you notice, as I was going through the champions, if you notice, I have look at this Doom Priest. She's in my main, basically my main team for clan boss, and she's got 3 4-star pieces. I really need to work on that. I can admit that. All right, forgot to show. Got a bunch of epics, some really exciting ones that I want to work on later on, but at that point, nothing too special. These are the ones that I got from the recent double drop event. Nothing I got really excited about. I know this guy is good for arena in a defensive comp. Hades was showing that off earlier, so that's something for the far future, I think, if I even get to it. Rearguard Sarge is actually really good. She's pretty good, but I have other characters developed already that do more or less the same thing. She will be amazing for faction crypts though. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have right now. Okay, so just a quick look. I know I've been yapping and yapping on here. Just a quick look at, let's see, I think I covered all this. So for the dungeons, let's take a look. So for the Arcane Keep, Magic Keep, all the keeps, you know, nothing special. You can just go with what you get. Let me see what I have here. Okay, so see, I was saying I use Queen Eva for dungeons as well. Now this is the keep level 15, so it's not that difficult, of course, but she comes in clutch for me at certain points. So Eva, Razin, Skull Crown. No, I was going to say Apothecary. I'm so used to having my Apothecary as a speed booster. So Arbiter, and of course Stag Knight. This team is about a minute run. I could probably do it in less if I really think about it, but that's good enough. For the Minotaur, I usually have 4 people as mainstay and 1 person as the one being upgraded. In this case, Gaelic is the one I'm working on currently to finish up his masteries. These are the other 4 that I use. I realized that I could just switch to Arbiter here. I actually don't know if I had a build at the point I was running this before, so I could just swap in Arbiter here, and I think this will make it faster. Okay, let's see what else we've got. For Ice Golem, this is the team I have been using basically. This was pre-Arbiter, by the way, so that's why you're seeing mostly rares here, a uncommon and one epic. This team is actually really good. In terms of time, it takes a bit. It's something between, I think the fastest time was 3 minutes or so, a little less. And I believe it was with this team that you see here. But for the most part, I get somewhere between 3:30 and 5 minutes, give or take. It just depends on whether Armiger is able to kill those side ads when we get to the boss. If he is able to kill them and they cannot be revived, then things speed up and we're looking at about 3.5 minutes. If he gets unlucky, then basically we're looking at about 4.5 up to 5 minutes. So this is the team. It's pretty good. It works. Okay. For Dragon, I am using this. Again, this is pre-Arbiter. Using Apothecary. This is where I use War Maiden as my defense down. I don't use Stagnate because he's the weak affinity here in this case. So an improvement I could do here is just remove War Maiden when I've built Tyrell, and just put Tyrell in here in her place. And I think this will be a decent team. Looking at 2-minute completions, that's pretty good. But I think once I get Seer and what's his face? Forgot his name. Kaimar. Once I get them up and running, I think I'll mostly be working with them and then building around them whatever I need. For Fire Knight, something might come as a surprise here. I actually have Queen Eva as my lead. For a bit more damage, I usually don't struggle for health in this comp, and even if somebody dies, usually Rare Quality Tender is there to pick him up. So this is the team that I use. Apothecary here is the weak affinity, so I could replace him with Arbiter, but this is again a team that I was using before I actually got Arbiter. How much time does it take? So about 3.5 minutes or so, give or take. So not too bad. And for Spider, had the most trouble with stage 19. Actually, I've been trying to remember what I used for stage 19, because I might actually do a video about that. It was a really rough fight. Did it on manual, but you don't. For the missions, you don't need to do it on auto. So you can actually, sit down, do it on manual, think about what you're gonna do, and that'll make it easier. But it's not easy. It really isn't easy. I think I was using Skull Crown for as my tank, basically. She was my tank. She was taking up the spiders, and she was doing AoE damage to both the spiders and the Mama Spider. But it still took a long while, and I was very close to wiping. I think I got really lucky at the end, and I just managed to kill the spider before she killed me. For stage 20, actually you'll see a team that I used for stage 15, I think. I don't remember why I was doing stage 15. I think it was for some of the challenges in the raid pass. But normally what I would use before I got Arbiter is this. I would put in Spirit Host for the speed lead, for the remove debuffs and the debuff block, and also for the attack up. Like I said, I can't use Doom Priest because she's the wrong affinity here, and she'll get mobbed by the spiders. So this is my workaround for this one. And Spirit Host is easy to get, by the way. You can farm her from the campaign, so she's actually an amazing support champ. Then what I use is, let's see, attack down, defense down. He's also got a stun set, so proccing a few stuns would definitely help with the spiders. Then I want Ultimate Gaelic for his AoE burn. He also is in a stun set, so whenever he does his AoE, he's going to hopefully stun some spiders as well. What else did I use? Let me just take a quick look. I used Apothecary, obviously, for the speed up. And was there anything else that I'm missing? I think I'm missing something. Let me exclude the Volt so I can get a better look. And of course, my tank. I completely forgot about my tank. So there we go. This is my off-affinity tank that I used for Spider 20. However, I have been thinking about using Sepulcher Sentinel instead of Razin. She's defense based as well, and also she's got defense up and block debuffs up for 2 turns. So I am thinking she's actually going to do a much better job than Razin. But we'll see. Let's test this out and end the video like this. See if this works. Obviously, I haven't tried this before, so it might fail. We'll see how it goes. But here's my attack up for Ultimate Gaelic. Speed Aura, Cleanse plus debuff block, attack down, defense down, and stuns. AoE, HP burn, and stuns. He also can bring down some turn meter for the main spider with his other abilities. Speed up and some spot heals from Apothecary. And my off-affinity tank in Sepulcher Sentinel. So let's give it a shot and see how this works. I'm actually kind of scared that it might not work, but we'll see. Okay, so who goes first? We have our speed up. Actually, just put it on 1 speed at the beginning. Okay, got some stuns. Attack down, defense down. Attack down is actually very important. We don't want the spiders to do too much damage. Okay, AoE HP burn is on. Can actually speed it up now. So basically what this comp is all about is just giving the spiders the chance to take their turns and burn the mama spider. Actually, didn't get that many HP burns, unfortunately. But as you can see, we've got block debuffs up, so it's actually pretty cool. It'll drop off after this turn, though, unfortunately. Okay, so now basically we're trying to keep Sepulcher alive. Okay, block buffs is up, that's great. And just wait for Gaelic to get his AoE, burning the little spiders and the mama spider again. Okay, Crushing Hopes. This means that on his next turn, if I have my math right, on his next turn he'll do the AoE burn. There we go. Okay, I think we got quite a few of them this time. Almost all of them, I think. So as you can see, the burn is doing some work. This is what we want. Now Sepulcher might actually end up dying, which is okay, as long as she doesn't die early on. But she might actually be able to survive this, by the looks of it. We'll see. I wonder if this HP burn will be enough to get the spider down all the way. We might need a third wave. Okay, she's down. Almost there. We need that AoE once again, I think. Okay, at this point we should be good. Although I'm seeing HP burn on only 4 spiderlings. Still, there we go. Okay, 248, not too shabby. Could be better though. Alright guys, this is what I wanted to show you. Hopefully if there's anything that you want to see further, I'm gonna try and do some videos about anything that I can, but if there's anything that you want to see further specifically, now that you've seen what champs I have and what comps I could possibly make, let me know and I'll see if I can get a video up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the sort of insider look into my account, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, stay safe, and of course stay home and keep those around you and yourself healthy in these difficult times. Take care guys.